I feel like early childhood teachers really set the stage for the rest of children's academic career. So I do feel like what I do on a daily basis is really important, and I do feel like I make an impact on them.
I'm passionate about this age group because you see the most growth. It doesn't just double within a year. You know, I'm looking at the language and the concept of numeracy and literacy almost tripling.
It's a very exciting time to be part of early education. There is no better time, especially since we're seeing now a lot of cross-ministerial work happening between different ministers, human resources, education, health. It's all happening. The word is getting out there.
So early childhood teachers have known for a long time that this is a key area that we can address, because what we can do in early childhood has long, far-reaching impact. And now with further education and further research, it is showing us that this is a time to make a difference.
I think if you understand a little bit about how the brain works and how you can improve its function, as a teacher, you're now given the tools to make sure that the things that you're doing in the classroom is having a positive effect on the kids that you're working with. And I think that's what should be empowering for teachers.
Oh, I love my job. It's the best job ever. Having a special needs child of my own, I was really blessed to see how he did with his preschool experience and the help and support that he got. I see that there's so much hope and potential for these kids, and I think that's what drives my passion in doing my job.
Good morning, class. Next sentence. I'm presently teaching kindergarten this year, and we're here at John Davidson School, and it's a Low German Mennonite school, which means their origin of language is Low German. And when they come to school, for a lot of these children, like preschool and kindergarten, it's their first immersion and exposure to English. Thanks, Martha. In terms of the whole philosophy of early learning and early childhood is learning through play. So I've incorporated all of the sensory type of centers, like the sand, the water, and then blocks, music, and creativity with different art experiences, and then everything is with manipulatives. So actually the techniques and the strategies aren't just great tools or strategies for English language learners, but they're universal for children all over of any ethnic background or language background.
I have age 3 and 4, and our primary focus is to learn through play. And so we gear our play towards developmental domains like cognitive, physical, literacy, those kinds of things. The most important part is having that warm and caring environment. And when they feel safe, then they will open up more, because some of them are coming to us with, like, they're hardly verbal at all, or, you know, language is challenging for them, and so they're afraid to speak up and say anything until they get to know you and they feel comfortable in the class.
My classroom is very colorful and bright. I think it's important that when my kids come in each day that they feel like it's a place that they want to be. So I do put a lot of time into thinking about where everything goes in my classroom and where everything belongs, as well as creating spaces. I try to have a space for group work, for individual work, a comfy spot where they can relax and read. I feel like when kids feel comfortable in the room, they're more likely to feel engaged in the room. If they feel like they have an important spot in the room, they know that they're not needing to sit in their desk all day the whole time. They are more engaged in learning.
What I'm interested in studying is how the brain is changed by early experiences. And we've known for a long time that very early in life, experience can have a big impact on the way the brain develops and wires up. Kids come with a variety of experiences, and they arrive in the classroom with brains that have already been started to be shaped by the experiences that they've had, and that can go all the way back to the preconception period. So you can't assume every child has the same needs. And when you get to know the child better, if you build a strong relationship with them, you can really have a positive effect on that child throughout their lifespan. You can make them motivated to work in school, make them want to learn, just by having a strong, positive, and very nurturing relationship. Emotional attachment is key here. So you actually have to get to know the child and find out how they're feeling, and ask them if there's something wrong, and be willing to take on some of their emotional problems in order to develop that kind of a strong, nurturing relationship.
I think the key thing is, whether you're a high school teacher, whether you're a university professor, whether you're an elementary teacher or consider yourself to be an early childhood teacher, we all need to keep abreast of what's happening in the field and make ourselves availed of the newest information in brain research. And there's no better opportunity really than to listen to people like Robin Gibb and to try and bring that through into our practice in the classrooms.
Aren't you glad I brought you to the hospital? Yes. With children at this age, what's appropriate and what they're needing is lots of hands-on experiences, and to build their language, and the root of literacy is the oral language and building the vocabulary. So to me, developmentally appropriate practice means incorporating as much of the hands-on materials and real-life experiences as possible.
This morning in math, you noticed that my kids sit in groups of 4. I have them sitting that way because we constantly do group work. I typically place 1 or 2 higher learners and 1 or 2 students that might struggle a little more. And then there's activities where they might be paired together with the other high child or the other child that's having trouble, or they might cross pair where the child who has trouble might go with the child who doesn't. So there's opportunities for them to work with someone who's understanding it maybe a little better than them, or someone who's understanding it the same as them. Peer teaching is something that happens a lot in math in my room, and that's really supported in research for early learners.
Well, I think it's a collaborative approach in early childhood, and it's the parents, the community, and the school working together to develop this child to its best potential. And I really feel that human resources are an important aspect in that process, because we need to have the people available to children to assist their learning and scaffold them as they're learning. If we can keep kids on a trajectory where they're at the very edge of their learning and pushing them just that little bit further with support. And that has been proven to be a very effective way to have good results in terms of learning.